Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm doing a little experiment, something I haven't tried before, which is shooting 35mm film in a 120 camera. So the way this is done is through these little 3D printed adapters that let you put onto a 35mm film canister and then load it into a 120 camera, which in this case is going to be the Pentax 6.7. And this is going to be my first time trying it, so I've loaded it onto a roll of Hashem Acros 100. And I've used a method where I've cut the backing paper off an old test roll of 120 and then attached it to the 35mm film in here so that I can get a little bit of extra film out of the can. I also cut out a small piece of black paper to make a mask in front of the focusing screen in the Pentax 6.7 just to give me a rough idea of what my framing will be. And the main lens I'm planning to use is this 55mm f4, which is going to give me a nice wide angle and lend itself well to that panoramic point of view. But I might also use the 105 2.4 as well. And I am heading out with my friend Ernest, who you might have seen in a couple of videos before. And it's a really hot day here, so it's actually still the middle of spring, but it's 34 degrees Celsius, so that's about 94 Fahrenheit for you US guys. And that's pretty hot for the middle of spring. But I've got my awesome Okinawa shirt here that I bought in Okinawa, so that's probably gonna shave off at least 10 degrees and keep me cooler. But no, I'm probably gonna sweat like a pig. But that's all right, I'm heading out with Ernest. We're gonna hit the coastline. And it's also really windy, so it's both hot and windy, a little bit uncomfortable, but we'll try and make the most of it. And I'll get a little bit of footage out there while I'm taking the shots and show them to you guys as I take them. So with this system all together, I think it might make a nice alternative to shooting on the Hasselblad X-Pan. So let's head out there and try it out. For most of the shots you're seeing, I used a Hoya K2 yellow filter to add a nice bit of contrast to the Acros 100 film. I thought this shot of the fuel pump would work well as a vertical. With this shot, I tried to shoot quickly and expose for the highlights, but it didn't work out and it was a little bit underexposed. With this shot here, you can see the same frame scanned but with the sprockets included. This is another possibility that opens up when you shoot 35mm film in a medium format camera. I'm personally not a big fan of including the sprockets in my scans, but I was able to do it using the Lomography Digitalizer film holder, which they had sent me for a review, which is still yet to come. I was personally really happy with how some of these shots turned out and how they rendered on the 55mm lens and the Acros 100 with the yellow filter. I'm really looking forward to trying some color film in this setup, maybe even some slide film. Light was getting pretty low, so I used a slow shutter speed on this shot and tried to go for a slight motion blur effect. So, what did you guys think of those panoramic shots on the Pentax 6.7? I personally thought it was a lot of fun, trying something different. I'm definitely keen on trying it again. It was actually pretty easy. The only thing I might change is just to adjust the little paper mask that I made inside the prism, just to sort of give me a better idea of what the image will look like with the sprockets cropped out. So I just need to make it a bit narrower. So if you're wondering why do this rather than just putting 120 film in the camera and then cropping the photos taken on 120 film, well, there's actually quite a few reasons, but the main one, and I think the most obvious one, is that a roll of 35mm film is going to be a lot longer than a roll of 120 film. So loading a roll of 120 and then cropping it, to me, just seems a little bit wasteful, when you can get a roll of 35mm, which is about twice as long, meaning instead of getting 10 shots, you get almost double that. So on my roll, I got about 18, but I know that if I readjust how I tape the film onto the paper leader, I can easily get 19 and maybe even 20. Probably wouldn't need to push it to that, but I would much rather put in a roll of 35mm using this trick. It actually wasn't too much effort. Once you've made this, you can reuse it, and that way I can get almost 20 shots. And the other great thing, another reason, is that you can shoot a much bigger variety of film stocks, because there is a larger variety of film available in 35mm. So that even means you can shoot some of the maybe budget film stocks that aren't available in 120, like ColorPlus 200 or Fuji C200, ProImage 100. There's quite a lot of films that are available in 35mm, but not in 120. So besides the fact that you're getting better value by putting in a 35mm roll if you're intending to shoot panorama, plus, another little benefit that I noticed compared to shooting something like an X-Pan is that by shooting 35mm in the medium format camera, you don't get as much of that vignetting as you do on the X-Pan camera, because the lens is actually able to cover that size of film much more easily. So I hope my little trial encouraged you guys to get out there and try stuff like this, even if it's not doing panoramic shots using 35mm on a Pentax 6.7, maybe in something similar like other medium format cameras. And if you are going to do it in a Pentax 6.7, some of the main tips that I would give you is just to make sure that you switch the pressure plate in the back of the camera to the 220 side, and also the little switch on the side of the Pentax 6.7 to the 21 setting on the counter rather than the 10 setting. This is just the same you would do if you were shooting 220, just to let the counter continue up to a higher number and let you keep advancing the film past 10. Also remember that if you're going to do this, you need to unload the film in a dark bag, because it's spooled all the way across. You can't just open it up, you'll fog the film. So make sure you're unloading the camera in a dark bag and then rewinding it by hand back into the 35mm film canister before you take it to the lab or develop it yourself. Another great tip is that if you use Scotch tape to actually attach the 35mm film onto this paper backing that you've pre-cut, you can easily peel it off. At least in my case, by using the 3M type of Scotch tape, I was easily able to peel it off, and that way I can just keep this piece of pre-cut paper leader to use for the next time I want to do this. I can just cut this, reuse it, and it just becomes part of the little panoramic conversion kit for my Pentax 6.7 if I ever want to shoot 35mm film in it again. Alright guys, so that about sums everything up. I hope you enjoyed this little experiment of shooting panoramic photos on 35mm film in the Pentax 6.7. And if you're maybe new to the channel and you're into film photography, check out some of the other videos on the channel and let us know what you'd like to see more of. Whatever kind of content you'd like to see on the channel, feel free to leave us a comment or follow us on Instagram and let us know. And if you want a more detailed review on how to actually make this paper leader with a bit more detail, like a small or short tutorial on how to do that, just let me know. Maybe follow us on Instagram and I can do a short video on IGTV or maybe here on YouTube. So either way, just let me know if you want more details on that. Otherwise, it's quite easy to go online and search for tutorials. You don't have to get the expensive panoramic conversion kits. Just sort of understand the basic concept and do it your own way if you like. So thanks for watching another Pushing Film video, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.